it's kind of expected that role-playing games are going to have some romance in them. And most of the romance can be quite cringy, boring, but eventually you get a game where the romance is actually very wholesome and it creates favorite characters that people will remember over the years. And I think Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous does exactly that with the character of Arueshalae, and I think the romance can be compared all the way with Baldur's Gate 2, Viconia de Vir, or Talisor Avast Normandy, because this character borrows certain elements from both of the previous mentioned characters. Now there's going to be a little bit of spoilers, and later on I'm going to give even more massive spoilers, so it's up to you if you want to listen to this or to tune out. But to offer some context, in the world of Pathfinder, succubi are demons that can enter people's dreams. And one of the favorite things they like to do is to toy with mortals and push them towards despair, push them towards insanity by the dreams that they're going to offer them. And these are usually dreams of lust and despair, capable of pushing a mortal to madness, which is kind of like seasoning for the demons. Now, once a mortal is prepared, the succubus will make its appearance and she will suck the life force out of its prey. Arueshalae happens to be one of these succubi, and she goes a little bit too far with the priestess of Desna, toys a little bit too much, more than she should, which actually angers the goddess and causes her to intervene. Desna is the goddess of dreams and luck in the world of Pathfinder. She's a chaotic good deity, and the way she punishes Arueshalae is very interesting. She traps her into the realm of dreams for what appears to be decades. And here she shows the evil succubus all the lives that she has taken. She shows them everything that the mortals wanted, all their aspirations, all their dreams before they were snuffed out by the demoness. And after decades of seeing and experiencing all of this, it finally breaks the evil suck. Now the evil suck is messed in the head because she wants to find redemption. She falls onto her knees crying, regrets what she has done, and wants to change her ways. And as she leaves the dream world, Desna tells her that, "What do you dream of?" Which is a very interesting question, considering that succubi are demons which are incapable of dreaming. Desna being a goddess of chaotic good, while demons being chaotic evil, they do not intersect in their domains. As such, succubi can enter the dreams of mortals, but they can't have dreams themselves. So this is the driving force of the character. This is what she actually wants to do. She wants to become a good person. She wants to atone for her sins, and she wants to dream. And she views that the moment she's going to dream is a sign from the goddess that she is on the right path. So now is the place where the massive spoilers are going to start coming. Now, as you look at the character, this is the reason that I compared her with Viconia de Vir. Viconia de Vir was a drow in Baldur's Gate 2. The drow were an evil race which were usually taking slaves from the surface world, and they would subject them to various punishments and difficult torture. Because of that, everyone distrusted drows. And it was very difficult for Viconia to go around in human society. Well, it's the same thing here, because in the history of Pathfinder, I couldn't find a single example where a demon has tried to find redemption. There are many cases where angels or other chaotic good or lawful good entities have fallen and became evil. I couldn't find any case where the opposite has happened. And as you can imagine, no one trusts her, because everyone looks at her with suspicion. As such, it is very difficult for her to find companionship or people to talk to. Until, of course, you get to meet her. And if you decide that you want to take her in your party and you trust her, you're going to find one of the most interesting companions that I have seen up to date. She's also very funny and interesting. For example, her habits are that of following mortals around. You see, even though she has lived for thousands of years and has experienced more in her life than any mortal will ever get to, she never looked at mortals with interest. She looked at them as her playthings or looked at them as nourishment. But now that she understands that there is a different way of living your life without destroying others, without constantly being afraid of others destroying you, she has taken a great interest. So she likes stalking people on the streets in order to see their day-to-day life. And if you ask her what she managed to observe, she will tell you with a straight face that mortals seem to like cats. And you get to see other funny conversations like this, other funny lines, and she genuinely seems like a good person, a individual that tries to redeem herself for the previous actions, an individual that is constantly being hounded and discriminated against, an individual that can't have any friends because any person that lays eyes on her is going to immediately scream and call the guards. Now, if you choose to actually pursue a romance with her, this is where things get even more interesting. So, massive spoilers ahead. But if you choose to flirt with her, she is eventually going to fall in love. And it's not really difficult to see why. I mean, the main character of the game is the leader of the crusade. He's very competent. He manages to win several battles. He's the epitome of toxic masculinity. And this is too much for the suck. And when she does that, she locks herself in horny jail. I found this to be incredibly funny. She goes into the dungeon by her own volition and locks herself inside because for the last decades, she has tried to avoid any impure thoughts. She pretty much became the succubus nun. And the reason for this is that the suck can't just touch a mortal. Their touch itself is capable of draining the energy from a mortal. And these thoughts, these temptations, and these dark thoughts could push her back into becoming a monster, undoing all the work that she has done during the last decades walking the path of redemption. And you get to appreciate the commitment that she has even more, because as a demon of lust, her very core, her very essence is carnal pleasure, yet she can't experience even the simplest touches. And this is why I compared her with Tali'Zorah Vast Normandy, because it does seem appealing for a lot of players to seduce the woman that you're not allowed to touch. Tali'Zorah was trapped in a suit of her own making because she couldn't have an immune system, and even a sneeze could kill her. So she is that interesting female romance that you'd think when you're talking to her, there is no way you're ever going to have anything physical. And it's the same with Arueshalae. She's a demon, and any physical contact could actually lead to the death of the main character, as well as setting her back onto the path of damnation. What's interesting is that her alignment is that of neutral, because she is still on her way for redemption, so she is not yet a good character. But she's not an evil character either, and it's going to be up to the player and the decisions that they make, which can tip the scale on either side. And what I really liked about her story is that the first thing that happens when you meet her is that she tries to manipulate you. It's pretty much a harmless manipulation, but it's a manipulation nonetheless. I mean, she's not starting the relationship with the right foot forward. And as the paladin in the party likes to put it, she is a creature of the abyss. For her, the path of redemption is going to be a lot more difficult than it is for a normal mortal who starts from zero. She is starting from minus infinite. So she asks the player to be a little bit more patient with her, to allow her to make a couple of mistakes along the journey, provided that they don't happen again. While another character says she's a demon, she's never going to be anything more than a demon, and you should kill her on the spot, and if you trust her, you're an idiot. So it makes the universe seem alive. Like, different characters have different viewpoints, and it's up to you as the player to decide what's going to happen. But one of the most wholesome things ever is when she finally comes to the main character and she's overjoyed. In fact, she is so happy that she can't even speak straight and asks the main character to go into the tavern to speak with her. And as you go into the tavern, you find out that the reason she is so excited is that she finally had a dream. And this is a miracle because demons just don't have dreams, but because she was on her path to redemption, the connection with the goddess of dreams has been established, so she can now dream for the first time ever. And she gets to take you to her dream in order to experience it. And honestly, it's like a really pathetic dream. It's like a weenie dream. It's like someone going to an art judge and showing them what their 2-year-old did with crayons on a piece of paper. But it's a dream nonetheless. It's just a rock that's floating in the void. And as you're talking with her, she gets to fill the rock with beautiful things. Or evil things, depending on how you want to roleplay this. But for example, she asks you, what are your dreams? And if you say that you dream of peace, then she thinks about how mortals do like to retire when they go old. And they want to have a house with an orchard and with ducklings. And that manifests itself into the dream world. And then you can go around and you can ask more people what they dream and what their aspirations are. And you can help her fill this little dream world, which makes her incredibly excited. It makes her almost like a child that's discovering something wonderful. And it's this level of wholesomeness that I really got captivated by. And it's also this wholesomeness that I notice Hollywood and other entertainment don't manage to captivate it. Most Hollywood and TV shows and romance novels, they're not really like that. They miss this aspect, which honestly I can only find in anime. And right now I also found it in Pathfinder in this very captivating story. And again, it's up to you to decide if you want to help this succubus achieve her redemption or go back to her previous ways and not mess with the natural order of things. But hey, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you in the comment section. Take care.